right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. And thank you very much for having me here. Wonderful. Technology is very powerful today, but technology can be used for good and bad. How our students are using it? So most of the problem our teachers are facing today, how we need to evolve it. The students are submitting their work. How authenticate is that? So is it really done by the students? Or they use AI? Oh, that is something else. They have eyed their AI. They're using something called human-eyed AI. That means they present the presentation about what are the assignment we are giving to the students. But what they have done, what are the instructions the teacher has been assigned? So they simply copy and paste to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will give all the information in 10 seconds. And also they submit it. How I know this? Most of the teachers know this. But most of us, we use Turnitin. The Turnitin can give only the information. Oh, yeah, this is all they are. But they use some other tool called human-eyed AI. They copy and paste from ChatGPT to human-eyed AI, and then they submit their work. If you go and turn it in and check, oh, this is all done by humans. That means there is no authentic, because whatever the English they use in their assignment, that doesn't match at all. They speak something else. Oh, then there's a problem. When I ask my students, oh, is it really done by you? Yes, teacher. Certainly it's done by me. Why are you asking this? Explain 1 2 times for 2 minutes. Oh, I didn't know this. You got to ask me. So these are the authentication problems today every teachers are facing. So what I come up with this idea. So oral exam. Oral exam also will boost the self-confidence with students. How? So for example, today if you apply for an interview, nobody selects you based on what the CT says. What the CV that you submitted. Hey, you've been applied for this post? You're hired. I saw your CV. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Nobody cares about your CV. They want you to show what your performance is. What are you going to do? That's the authentication process. And also, today, if somebody's awarding a PhD, in what basis? What are the theses that you submit? Based on that, you have to prove whatever you've done it. Yeah. So that's how it works. So oral exam is already very successful, which I'm using it already in my class. So what I do, it is not just an oral exam. Also, I give a written exam. That means it's an open book exam. So 1 week before, I give all the questions to the students. Make sure before you come to the next classroom, you'll have to submit this. Yeah, but make sure do not use AI. That is a main condition. But even though many students use AI. And how I'm tracking it? By reading it, teacher can understand how students can speak. What is their level of English? What is the level of their communication? And this is very much possible. So now, what are the submissions they have done? What are they did? Like, okay, assess the paper and ask the questions. Questions based on the situational questions. Questions based on, oh, these are the problems. How are you going to solve this problem? The critical thinking, analytical skill, problem-analysis skill, or decision-making skill, we can able to track by giving you situational questions based on the subjects. Yeah. So in that way, I complete my midterm and the final exam. I'm so satisfied because his authenticity. Students has been performed in front of me. It doesn't matter what AI you use to learning. I don't care. But he performed me in front of everyone. When students are also watching. So that is one way. Another way, case study. So case study means every case study has a problem. So students have to discuss about solution to the problem. So I tell students, okay, read the case study, answer all the questions. Because unfortunately, I have no time for everyone to hear whatever the answer they say. But sometime to authenticity, randomly I ask students, okay, what is that opinion about your case? This is the problem. What is your solution for this case? Because there are 50 students in my classroom or in our classroom. So everybody think different. If you give one problem, there are 50 other solutions to come to the problem. Yeah. So this is another way of tracking the performance. And apart from this, group discussion, give an assignment to the group. Not the group. And the group members has to come here and talk about one of the presentation, one of the solutions that are assigned for the problems with GRs. Teacher has been assigned. And next one is business plan presentation. What is a business plan? Most of the courses, what I teach is business law. And also I teach entrepreneurship and marketing. So this is the main assignment I used to give to my students. So I tell them, okay, imagine you're going to start a business. What is the business idea that you're going to come up with? How are you going to solve the problem? Like how? So, for example, whatever the product that you're using in front of you, this is not created by you. This is created by someone else. Then why are you using it? Because it's helping you to solve your problem. Likewise, tomorrow, if you want to start your own business, how are you going to solve others' problem? Why do you think people have to buy your product? You have to justify that. How are you going to solve your problem? So likewise, you need to think, I'm going to give you some right topic, like introduction, how are you going to solve the problem? And next one is mission and vision of whatever the business that you're going to start. And next one is investment analysis and the policy that you need to build, the rules and regulation, internal policy and external policy for the business which you want to start. I'm going to give the clear direction and a marketing plan, 4Ps, or investment idea, the industry analysis or competition analysis. So they have to do the PowerPoint presentation. They have to create it with the group members and they have to present the same. Because even though I can't track off in case if they submitted their work, how I know this is done by them? So I tell students, you have to do the presentation. Each and every group, I am going to give 10 to 15 minutes time. You'll have to do, it's like a short tank. The people have to authenticate what kind of problem they're going to solve. So this is the main. So most of the marks I'm allotting for this. And case study, 10% marks goes for this. And this business plan presentation, 20% marks goes for this. Group discussion, 10%, and 25% in midterm, 25% in the final exam. And also here, group assignment discussion, which you already discussed. So this is the most of the, in my class, I allowed this such kind of assignment to move forward. So how this is, what has been proven? So if you're talking about the importance of authenticity of the exam today, there are so much AI. Every day something new is coming. Whatever the way you say to the students, they come up with their own way to cheat you. Yeah, that's the biggest problem. And also the written exam has a limitation. Most of the teachers, what they've done, I'm not saying it's wrong. Wait, it's a time to change. It's time to discuss. They do like multiple choices questions. So, like the students cannot think beyond the ability. You're limiting them. This is what it is. You have to choose everything in a single line. Yeah. So, at whatever exam, you're allowing them to say anything that you want. Whatever they see, they can come up with their own idea. It boosts their self-confidence. It's very much important. And why oral exam matters? Because authenticity. And research problem. Today, what is the problem is like how sure you are, as I told you before, is that by the students. How do you know? Because we don't know. We have to go with whatever the summation they have done. Yeah, they can defend themselves. That's why the oral exam is important. And also, if you're talking about the goal to impact the oral exam, the student confidence. So education is all about building a confidence. It doesn't matter what kind of education that you have. At the end of the day, 4 years, they have to go with the pride. I can face any kind of questions. I can face any kind of interview. No problem. I'm very confident. Because education today, whatever they feel, it's a degree they get after 4 years or 5 years. It's a piece of paper. Yeah. Whatever you learn, that's very important. Yeah. So building a self-confidence, the oral exam will definitely help. And also teacher also very happy about it. Sometimes students has been performed very well. I know what kind of student he is. So students get tracked. And also by asking question in the classroom is very important. Most of the students in technology is the biggest challenge for the teachers. Most of the students are in the mobiles or computer. We don't know what's going on there. So I used to tell, even be active in the classroom by asking questions, you will get the marks. I encourage you, ask questions. To ask questions, they cannot ask random questions. They ask questions, they have to listen. They have no choice. Yeah. And apart from this, if you're talking about review of literature, is it the oral exam is the best? Am I the only person talking about it? Absolutely no. There are so many research that's been done. But that time, ChatGPT was not there. Today, technology is challenging. Many people are using ChatGPT for wrong purpose. And most of our students, 90% of the students, they use it for wrong purpose. ChatGPT is a fantastic tool if you know how to use the right purpose. You did a lot of research with that. Yeah. So ethics is very, very important for students learn. Yeah, because they have their own problem. What they think, sir, I've been working a lot day and night. I have no time to prepare anything. Yeah. It's okay, but they should understand the importance. Like they're preparing ChatGPT and they're using any other tool. By the time they can also prepare it, you take only 30 minutes time to prepare one of the assignments. So authenticity is very, very important. And with knowledge, we have been used quantitative and qualitative, and also that's under students has been participated. The survey has been given to the Google form, and also in a structural interview, I call randomly over the students and ask them questions how you feel about this, about all this evaluation method, like not only the exam, presentation, case studies. Teacher, this is really great because we feel more confident and it's very easy for us. Exam is very anxiety for us, but this is much more than comfortable for us. Yeah. And also, this is how the process of data has been collected. It started with a survey and randomly chosen 100 people. And the exam, the questionnaire has been done before the exam and after the exam, how they feel after. And the key findings is that 85% of the reported increased the self-confidence by the oral exam, and 70% of the experienced lowering the anxiety, and 78% felt the oral exam is the knowledge of research. Because what are the, if you teach something, how they know that they carry forward when they go for the industry. Most of the people, they're studying only for that particular day. Exam is there. Once the exam is over, everything's wiped out. What is the point of spending 3 months, 4 months studying this course and learning nothing? You haven't spent a lot of money as well. They work very hard. They don't know the value of money, value of things. Like, teacher, all that I need, PGWPA. I want to stay here. Okay, that's all fine. But how are you going to be faced? Whole life you want to work for minimum wage? Nobody will hire you. When you go for an interview, you need to ask a question. Why do you think someone has to hire you? What kind of value addition that you're going to create for a company which is going to hire you? Company is not a fool. Every company needs brilliant people. Yeah, even charity organization need brilliant people. Unfortunately, you cannot buy that from Walmart. You have to build it. You have to come every day. It's not just coming every day. You actively participate in the class to build the self-confidence. So this is what I used to tell students. And the visual data representation, the graph shows that they reduce the anxiety, and also oral exam is much better than the written exam. But I not say that I always recommend both. So, for example, the presentation I was talking about, you have to prepare the PPT and talk. Right now, I'm already presenting, and you're all authenticate how well it is. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, and also the analysis and the interpretation. The oral exam is significantly enhance the self-confidence for the students, which is very important. And also, as a teacher, I'm so happy. I've done something. Students have done something. Both of them done perfectly. And this will present positive feedback from the student. That's what everybody's happy. And the student asking question, teacher, when is my next presentation? I'm so excited because my team is so excited because they know they prepared it. When you prepare it, you feel confident. When you not prepare it, you feel fearful. As simple as that. Yeah. So this is what the results shows finally. Number one is authentic learning, which is very important. The next one is increasing the self-confidence of the students. And low confidence is going away. And high confidence, but the low authentic learning, which is removed quickly. And my recommendation is written exam plus oral exam. Both are important. As I told you, midterm, I'm giving a lot of questions based on the chapters we have gone through. And after this, I'm going to authenticate whatever the answer they have submitted. It's not just randomly they submitted. And each and every question, I'm not asking all the 30 questions. I told the students, I don't know what kind of question I'm going to ask, but question from that, the question which I gave you. But you should be able to explain with the examples, which is very important. If you're not able to explain the example, that means you didn't understand the concept. So you have to go through it. Yeah. So that's how it works. Well, the conclusion is basically it's about building a self-confidence is very important because students is not just theoretical learning, it's all a practical learning. I also tell students that you have to follow in case if you're interested to start a business or working for a business, because one in two things is going to happen after your education. Either you're going to work for a business or you're going to start a business. Yeah, you have to prepare it. You need a self-confidence for both. Even if you're starting a business, first you need to work for a business. You have to gain some knowledge about experience is very important. Yeah. Likewise, if you want to start a coffee shop, you have to go for a walk in a coffee shop, gain some experience. See what are the challenges you're facing in the coffee shop, and what are the problems they are facing. Do you have a solution for those problems? Yeah. When you feel that I have a solution, that means that is the right time to start a business. So this is that conclusion. Thank you very much. What's it? Yeah.
Yeah. So as an instructor, I mean, I've done oral exams in the past. And one of the challenges I think is because you can relate it allows the students to relate their experiences to the question, add their own ideas and their own explanations. Sometimes it can be really hard to assess. What kind of strategies to use to make sure you're giving the student a fair assessment when the oral exam can sometimes be so different depending on how things go and what the student.
Say, for example, you're teaching marketing, and students also submitted the assignment based on marketing, and you assess them. And when you call sort of an interview and give them a problem related to the market, say, for example, okay, this is my products, so I launched it, and nobody's look at my product, nobody buy. So what will you do in this situation? So how will you work in this? Will you close the company or find out the problem and solve it? So this will help them to critical thinking, the decision making skill, analytical skill, problem handling. That means I'm not giving them 5 minutes time to think. Within 10 seconds, how they think, what kind of solution they come up with. So we can able to predict how smart they are.
But even in the end, you have to give them a grade. And how do you ensure that you're being fair and how you're just using grades between all?
Yeah, so definitely you can give them a grade based on how their decision is, because case study is all about decision making, right? Every case study has a problem. What kind of solution you come up with that problem and how soon you're taking a decision. So based on how they are talking, you can able to judge.
So if I could build on that, the way I did it is I give them a scale. I say, this is how you grade your oral. And if it's a presentation, they'll get next for pronunciation and communication. Y for content. They'll also get graded on their PowerPoint presentation and answering questions and interacting with the audience. So everyone knows how they're going to be graded, because the danger of what you're saying is this is very subjective. Hey, Cyril, you know me.
It's on your iPhone first.
Oh, but the point is, it has to be objective and defensive. The only way to do that is to show how you're going to grade it. Let them know. I understand English is a second language. You're not going to get 5 out of 5, no matter how good you are, because compared to an English speaking person, not the same level, because in the real world, you will be treated differently. So you might get 3 or 5. I will immediately give you feedback. That's the other thing is you haven't said how you give feedback. When someone gives me an oral presentation and I've got 10 of them in the class, I'll wait till after class to grade them all. I've got to read it at that time as they speak, give them their feedback immediately, because otherwise they merge into each other.
Also, of course, so like this, after giving your mark, you have get feedback. Right? So after giving your mark, so there is a feedback form. You have to fill that, because students can come up and say that, teacher, I answered all the questions. You gave me only 70 marks. So because I forgot, because that question, yes, it's how that particular time. So whatever the students has been answering the question, so you have to record everything. And these are the questions. Okay, this student has been answered most of my questions, and this particular question didn't answer. So this is a grade. Because even after 10 days, if you come back and say, I open it, what is the feedback? Now I remember, this is what it is. And
yeah, so I know that we talked about using oral presentations just so students, we minimize the risk of students cheating. But when you brought up PowerPoint presentation, it's really neat. So what happens if they presented really well, but the PowerPoint presentation, say, for example, if you're running through Turnitin, it becomes 80% AI generated?
Basically, I don't consider when they come to the oral exam, that's for the informative. So they can use any technology for the learning purpose, but end of the day, I access based on the oral make. Right?
So even if they have PowerPoint slides in it,
then I don't consider that. I consider only 20%. So 80% live performance. It's a great question.
I think there's really widespread interest. I'm just subjectively on it and support many forms of oral assessment, such as group presentations. I know, like at Alexander College, where group presentations are widely used. We very much favor interactive diet, like the traditional standalone standard lecture, because I'm anachronism in a lot of ways. Where I struggle is with concept of a final oral exam, particularly class of 50 students. The logistics become problematical in a variety of ways. Time is an issue. How to substantiate student content in the case of an appeal. Was the exam recorded in some fashion? I'm just personally left with a sense of, again, some logistical challenges around certain types of forms.
Absolutely. See, for example, mine is a bit really challenging. And we have 50 students in the classroom, we have only 3 hours. I'll be able to come up with. So, as I told you, before, I asked them to submit the paper. So they're not writing the exam, the written exam. Actually, they have to write exam at home. There's 1 week before exam time giving the questions. And the condition is they're not allowed to use AI. But anyway, because his Turnitin shows that, okay, 24% AI. So there's a minor they use AI too. I know what are the tools they have used because students having it. This is all we do. And we cannot able to find out whether they. So I consider the oral exam, written exam is 29%. Remaining 80%, or sit with one, like one point. Whatever the based on the written, I give 3 minutes time and sing for students. So within 3 minutes time, as a teacher, I can able to assess what kind of performance we have. And also, not only that, as a teacher, I know about all the students who's asking questions, who's very active, and which are the subject matters expertise. So as a teacher, I can able to record everything because I've been with them for 4 months.
So if I understand correctly, you're using for oral assessment, final assessment as a follow-up to instrument.
Yes. So ask the question from that. One of they done it, like a PhD thesis.
And if sort of way too far down into the weeds here, but if it's truly a final exam, it's a written final. Any institutions that would be a final exam schedule, final exams are written designated times, or your follow-up oral assessments institutionally scheduled, or what again, where the
every institution has their own policy, and teacher has academic freedom. They can choose the last week or before 1 week before. So, and also they can move their presentation in the last week. So, mental max, whenever their teacher is comfortable, they can have all things. It should be 14th week or 15th week, this 15-week class, or 12th week or 12th week to this 1 week class.
Mr. Brandley, so don't be shy. Ask questions.
Absolutely. Also, give us a suggestion too. I think the point was that the other what you're saying is, oh, that you know what you wrote is what you have. It's an essay, 2 or 3. So do you remember when you're not asking them to do a presentation, you say, you've submitted this paper on this question, it's open book. Now I'm going to ask you if you can explain to me how you put it together, what's the answer? Do you give me confidence that this is your work and you actually know what you wrote versus cut, paste, there you go. That's what you're saying. Absolutely. So that's one point on that. But I want to say that in the real world as well, oral exams still have many professional associations as part of your certification. You'll do a series where you'll be called before a board of examiners to defend what presented. And most professions do still have components. So this is something students should be able to do in practice for the real world. Absolutely. Any other suggestion?
I think I have a question. So if you have like an oral exam, talk about how it builds confidence. So the students get like a practice run before they get to the final. Because in case they're through anxiety, that affects their performance, right? 8%.
Actually, that is like, yeah, it happens. Teacher, I prepared everything. When I come to you, I forget everything. So what can I do? But just relax. I go with one or two questions from the question paper. Otherwise, I give situation was straight and comfortable. Hey, where you're working? In your organization, your boss is sending me like this, ask you to do something like this. Because it is all business related. Yeah. So how will you react? Oh, teacher, no problem. So this is happened actually to me in my class, in my topics. Yeah. So that's how they start the conversation. So when you start the conversation in polite way and they become friendly too, so they feel confident. It's a good question, man. Thank you.
I think maybe it's not a challenge, but like I know the issue, like the problem you're trying to solve is like how do we make sure that our assessment is the integrity of it is still intact. The oral exam kind of sidesteps cheating with AI, but how does it work with learning outcomes for specific courses? Like it sort of presenting skills, oral skills aren't really a learning outcome. Like seems to be pretty dominant in this. Like, what if you're just bad public speaker instead of through practice? It's not alleviating your anxiety. It's actually worse. Like, if the class basically wants to teach them about law, like the oral exams help for them. Like, what? I just feel it's a bit of a narrow.
Yeah, because it depends on the subject. So a oral exam will not work for math. Oral exam will not work for English. So probably a business subject would be a great idea because they have to perform in the show. So when they go to the market, they have to perform. Right? So they need a confidence to speak. Say, for example, if you give them a topic, most of the students, they're not even speaking. They're not comfortable to speak and they feel shy. So what I'm saying, when you ask them to speak, they feel confident. So that confidence they carry when they go outside.
So, what do you feel about using AI in the class in ways that don't sort of affect learning outcomes? Or
No, I'm not against AI. I encourage the student to use AI. But AI should be used for the right purpose. So, for example, if you copy and paste, you lose your self-confidence. But if you do your work, that build your self-confidence. So education is all about building your self-confidence. You have to follow ethics. I used to teach about ethics. Ethics means even when others are not watching you, you should do the right things. That will feel the self-confidence, pride in you. So that will help you to perform wherever you go. But if you use AI or if you use not ethics, what will happen? You carry fear in your mind. You know, when they will catch you and you cannot perform very well. And I used to tell them, if you use or if you not building a self-confidence, all life will not work for minimum wage, even after spending $100,000 for this course. Fine. Well, thank you very much.